What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome on in. It's 1TS Daily live right here at One True Sport. I'm Zack Heydorn, your host from Brass Ring Media and Sports Illustrated. Pumped to be here today after what was one heck of a night for WWE on Netflix. And we're going to talk about that entire show here in just a second. But yeah, really big night. And you felt that all throughout the day, really. We talked about it on yesterday's episode of 1TS Daily, but I mean, this premiere on Netflix, it felt like a WrestleMania. Like the buzz was there throughout the day, the mainstream coverage was there throughout the day, and WWE treated the event as such with big time production, pre-show, post-show, press conference, big names, big matches. I mean, they pulled out all the stops. And, you can say what you want about WWE, and there's a lot to say. Trust me. I've said it on this show and other shows. But the one thing they do really well is make their big events seem like tremendously big events. So much so that in a lot of instances, it's hard for those events to actually live up to the hype that is set for them. Whether it's matches or promos or star power, whatever, sometimes they do such a good job in elevating their big time events that they can't deliver on the hype. And I actually thought there was some of that going on yesterday with the WWE Raw premiere on Netflix. So we'll talk all about that. Also on the show tonight, we're going to preview NXT New Year's Evil a little bit more in depth than I would have originally planned, because The Rock is going to make an appearance on that show. So very newsworthy stuff. And yesterday was just a crazy day for news. And I mean, I'm biased for sure, but the team at the Takedown at Sports Illustrated did a really nice job of covering all the news of yesterday, making sure you guys get the important things. So if you want kind of like a digest of all the news that came out yesterday, Takedown on its side, that is a good place to find it. As for right now, this is 1TS Daily live on the One True Sport YouTube channel. We're live with this show every single day, 11 a.m. Eastern, for a quick, 20, 25 minute, very snackable show that can, give you your fix of pro wrestling conversation and discussion and analysis each and every single day. So that's what we do here on this program. If you haven't subscribed to One True Sport on YouTube, now is the time to do that, because, well, obviously we've got a lot of great content at One True Sport, but all of the Brass Ring Media podcasts, all the live shows that we do at Brass Ring Media are now going to be on the One True Sport YouTube channel. So you're not going to want to miss those. Tonight on the channel, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, the Brass Ring Media podcast, my show, my long form show, is going to be live on the channel. Really excited about it. Really excited to kind of we premiered last week, but this will be our first Tuesday night show. So super, super pumped about that. If you haven't checked out our Brass Ring Media content, please do. I think you'll enjoy it. We have a YouTube channel, totally free to subscribe there. Please hit subscribe over there for exclusive Brass Ring Media content. Also, we've got our newsletter that is published daily. I just wrote a column about taking my daughter to her first wrestling event, and you could read that on the Brass Ring Media Substack newsletter. It is totally free as well. Just search Brass Ring Media Substack and you can find it. And I think you'll enjoy getting that each and every day with really, high level, top shelf pro wrestling analysis and writing. And of course, if you want more, we offer membership at Brass Ring. It's only $4 a month. You get all sorts of exclusive content, pay-per-view, PLE review shows, a special member-only podcast once a week, and so much more. So find that information over on Patreon, patreon.com/Brass Ring Media. As for today, guys, I got the live chat wide open, and this is my favorite part of the show, is interacting with you guys, going back and forth, hearing your topics, hearing your questions, answering those questions. It's always a blast. So the live chat is open if you want to get in there. We got some people filing in right now. E is in there, and has a lot to say about the Raw last night, which is good. I'll get to him in a minute. Sometimes the live chat is really busy, so if you want to make sure that your comment or question or topic gets bumped up to the top of my list, drop a super chat in there. Any contribution amount helps, even if it's just 99 cents, right? Or whatever. You can get guaranteed that your question or comment is read live on the air. Cool. All right. Now that the business is out of the way, let's have some fun. Let's talk about last night's episode of WWE Raw on Netflix. We talked already about kind of the I don't know, the gravity of the moment, right? It was a huge moment, and WWE did a very nice job at capturing that moment, capturing that gravity and enhancing it and juicing it a bit. I thought the production, the camera shots, the crispness of like the signal and the stream, all were tremendous last night for WWE. Like if you were a lapsed WWE fan from like, let's say 2010, and you were, watching it on Netflix, I mean, that's a big game changer, right? From what you saw then to what you saw last night. If you're a fan who's not even a lapsed fan, but somebody who just likes pro wrestling but doesn't watch WWE often, and you checked out Netflix, like that presentation is going to capture your attention. The drone shots I thought were really cool, and it does present stars in a different way. But boy, I mean, it's a big time presentation. Intuit Dome, just a brilliant arena. I mean, there's no two ways about it. Like it's just a one heck of an arena, and WWE was able to capitalize on that. With the show this week, they're not going to have LED lights in the seats at every building that they run. But, they took full advantage of it yesterday. And I thought just the overall presentation, look, feel, vibe of the show was excellent. And what you wanted to see. Like, I think that, when you see WWE elevate themselves to a partnership with Netflix, like a global leader like that, you want to see some production go with it. You want to see it look like the product it's claiming to be. And I thought yesterday they thrived. They thrived in that area. Now, content-wise on the show, and we'll get to the matches and everything, but look, and I said this on the Wrestling Media YouTube channel last night, but you don't want to make it a practice of making your big shows feel like commercials for your company. That's not what fans are there to see or be a part of or do, right? It's just not. That's not the point of a pro wrestling show. It's not to brag about your corporate successes in the boardroom. It's not that. And they did a lot of that last night. I mean, Triple H did it, Rock did it, Cena did it. And then I guess Hulk Hogan, which we'll get to him in a minute. Oh, it's hard not to laugh at that one. All of those big name guys did that. And so WWE has to be careful with that. Now, I give them a pass on a night like yesterday. Because on a night like yesterday, you do want to celebrate. Like during the Super Bowl, right? When the NFL puts on the Super Bowl, there's a lot of that corporate mumbo jumbo stuff going on. Lots. Part of it. But it's the biggest game of the year for them. It's the biggest day of the year for them. You don't see that on every single broadcast of every single game throughout the regular season and the playoffs. You just don't. But you do see it on the big stage. So if WWE kind of takes ownership of that reality, and what we saw last night is for last night and not a common practice, we don't want to be thanking Netflix executives every single week. That would get very annoying and very overindulgent quickly. So pull back. Yesterday, okay, big night, history. You want to celebrate that moment. I get it. Okay, fine. Yes, it was a little eye roll inducing. Yes, it was a little nauseating at times. But okay, fine. Pull it back now. They got to pull it back. They got to recognize that fans are there to watch pro wrestling and to watch a stellar WWE product, not to be props in a major, corporate pitch to sponsors and advertisers. Period. End of story. So that's that. And that brings me to The Rock. Now, look, The Rock's a huge global mega star. I don't think anyone's going to argue that point, right? Well, let me get a sip from the old sponsor here. Unofficial sponsor, 1TS Daily, unofficially, as of right now, brought to you by Starbucks. And Starbucks, you've been tagged in some posts. Look it up. Let's do some business together. Anyway, so The Rock, global megastar. Look, if WWE has a chance to get The Rock, they're going to get him. They're going to get him. They're going to use him. He moves the needle. I'm really interested to see how much he moves the needle tonight on NXT. Like, we'll see tonight just how big of an impact The Rock can make, because NXT's got its viewership. You know, the people who watch NXT, and it fluctuates 50,000 here, 50,000 up, 50,000 down, you know, on a good week, 100,000 maybe. But we'll see if The Rock can really deliver big numbers. Now, that said, WWE is going to use him when they can. That's going to happen. And they should. Let's call a spade a spade. The Rock's a really big star, and he brings eyes, and he delivers. So they're going to use him, and they should. Now, last night, though, it was abundantly clear that The Rock works better if he has some kind of storyline to play off of in WWE. I mean, you know, seeing The Rock as like hype pitch man for TKO Group and Ari Emanuel and WWE, like that's not compelling Rock, right? That's bland. It's boring. You want to see The Rock, if he's a babyface, like eviscerate some heel and, you know, do the Rock shtick on him and maybe hit a rock bottom or a people's elbow. Like, you don't want to see him hugging Mark Shapiro, you know, president of the TKO Group, or like, you know, yucking it up with Ari Emanuel or patting Netflix executives on the back. Like that's not interesting, Rock. And last night, that's what you got. That's all you got. So much so that he kind of undercut his own storyline with Cody Rhodes. He undercut that completely by saying, "Hey, we bled together, but you know what, man? I'm proud of you." Like, it's all over the place in terms of presentation. And if you ever had an idea to do Cody Rhodes against The Rock at any point, whether it's WrestleMania this year or SummerSlam or whenever, that match today now is colder than it was yesterday because of what they did yesterday. Like, even if The Rock like has a change of heart, you know, and turns on it turns on Cody, like it's worse now because you did what you did yesterday. It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense. And I thought that was bad judgment on his part, especially from a guy like him that wants big business opportunities on the table. He wants never before done stuff on the table for him to do. And, you know, now that's not there. Now that's not there. And that's unfortunate. The Roman Reigns stuff with The Rock was better. I thought that was better. I thought that when Roman Reigns beat Solo Sikoa and won the Ula Fala back, and Rock walked out and put it around Roman's neck, like there was a layer of tension there. There was a layer of tension there that, you know, I thought you could feel pretty strongly, you know, that Rock's putting it on him, but he's staring at him. He's taking off his glasses. He's telling Roman, like, here you go for now, you know, but I'm coming. And to me, that was better than the Cody stuff. And maybe that means they're just going to scrap the Cody match. And honestly, at this point, like, that's fine. I just think you shouldn't have done what you did with Cody, because just in case you want to go to it, now you really can't in the most effective way possible. But the pieces are on the board for Rock versus Roman and the ultimate tribal chief on the line. And I think that's strong. That was a strong part. It was the strongest part of the Rock's appearance yesterday on the show. So we'll see where it goes. But, Rock works better when he's got something to do. The stuff with Roman, more compelling than Pitchman Rock, period, end of story. Okay, so let's get to the chat here, because we got a lot of people chiming in here on the Rock and on stuff with Roman Reigns. So first I want to go to Brandon Eldridge, because he made me crack up. Just here to continue the celebration of Hulk Hogan. We're going to get to him. Next topic, we'll get to Hulk Hogan. Sean says here, what's up, Zach? Didn't like what The Rock did, just completely went away from where they were going. Dumb start to the show for me. Swerves are dumb, and Cody would be a total moron for falling for Rock again. Andrew says here, this is a victory lap, no more, no less. Wrestling fans are forgiving. The larger issue is that he acknowledged Roman Reigns. Well, he did acknowledge him, but I don't know, Andrew. You're right, he did. But to me, it felt like there was a little bit of a wink there, or a little bit of a, yeah, I acknowledge you, definitely. That type of thing. So, yeah. Eddie in the chat saying Rock is setting up Roman for a beatdown on SmackDown. Could be January 27th is when we're, I guess, going to see Roman Reigns again. Maybe that's when the angle goes down. I mean, you got to do it soon. You got to do it pretty soon, because you're not going to have Rock forever in the lead up to WrestleMania. So if that's the plans, that's what they that's what they got to do. Sean says here, yeah, Roman did sell tension, which was fine. Heyman still has to turn soon. Boy, that's interesting. If does Heyman go with The Rock? I think Paul Heyman has been tremendously effective in this bloodline story, but he always works better as a heel, right? And I think Roman Reigns, can, I don't know. It's so hard. It's so hard, because I think those two have such good chemistry. And Paul Heyman is a big part of why Roman was able to kind of get out of that, not little funk, but the funk he was in with WWE and the audience back in, 2020, 2019. And now he's the babyface that WWE always wanted him to be. Do you mess with that, by taking Paul Heyman away from him? I wouldn't. I mean, how do I put this? If Roman Reigns were like a true babyface, tried and true, you'd trust him to go out there on his own and be that. They haven't. They haven't since he returned. They hadn't before 2020, before he turned heel. That was not a thing that they did with him. And I think Heyman gives him a little bit of that sympathy. So it's interesting, because you'd feel like, okay, you want a babyface to be out there alone. Heyman helps the presentation so much, though. But coming out of this yesterday, though, Roman Reigns beat Solo Sikoa. He's the tribal chief now. So, I mean, yeah, you can do rematches and you can have Jacob Fatu. You do all that. But, that was kind of an era-defining, moment for this bloodline story, where Roman, takes care of Solo Sikoa, gets it back, gets the tribal chief moniker back. Now what? There wasn't that angle. Yesterday I was convinced, you got to either going to put Solo Sikoa over, or you're going to have an angle, with Roman Reigns, even if he wins. And they didn't have that. So Roman Reigns just won. And so it's kind of okay, what's next for the bloodline saga now? We'll have to see. But I mean, Solo Sikoa is not going to be able to come back from this, right? He's not done, but to me, that part of the story is done. Like, this was it. This was the finality of it. This was the end of that act in the story. We'll have to see where the act goes. Eddie's suggesting here, do we see Solo get booted out by The Rock and Jacob is the tool to do the kicking out? Yeah, I think we could. I think we could see that. We can see like a return of Solo Sikoa to the original bloodline, because he was in the original bloodline, right? So that's possible. That's possible. But they got to get to that. Again, you don't want that to like linger out there. Get there, go there. I think that's important. Okay, the other main event last night, or the main event, I guess, but the other top match, CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, and I don't know, but I don't know if there's enough people talking about the fact that this match was really good. Like, it was a little bit slow to start, for sure. Like, they definitely were trying to get their bearings, but I thought by the end they put on a really compelling match. They exchanged finishers, near falls. The table spot was cool on the outside of the ring, and it was clean. A clean win for CM Punk. And it had to go that way. It had to go down that path where Punk gets the win. Because Punk has more momentum right now. There's more for him to lose than there is for Seth to gain, and we talked all about that yesterday. So you can check it out there. But I thought the match was really good. I thought Punk held his own. I thought Seth held his own. As Sean says here, really fun match, told a fun story, and Punk is getting better each one out. He looks tired, but he is getting older. Yeah, I mean, he does look every bit of 46. And yeah, he just can't do the same stuff that he used to do. But who can at 46 compared to when you're 35 or 30? Like, not many people. I wish I could say that I could, but I can't. But I still like the match, and I like the finish in particular. I'm so glad there wasn't any kind of shenanigans. Straight up Punk wins. And now there's all sorts of options here. There's all sorts of options of where you can go. I mean, Punk is talking a lot about 2025 being his year, to win the Royal Rumble, to go to WrestleMania. So he can either do that, and you're on that journey, or Seth can't get over the loss, is just won't accept it, and then prevents Punk from doing those things. And either way, I think it leads to a really big match for Punk at WrestleMania. Either it's Punk in a title match at WrestleMania, or Punk in this ultimate grudge match, feud ender with Seth Rollins. And either way, I think those are pretty good pretty good options for Punk. Andrew says CM puke. Okay, Andrew, you didn't like the match. I'm going on a limb. I'm gonna say that you did not like that one. So there you go. But good match, good main event, and a cool little fact. A little fact of hey, who won the first ever main event of Raw on Netflix? CM Punk in 2025. There's a sentence you couldn't say 5 years ago. Rhea Ripley is the new WWE Women's World Champion. She beats Liv Morgan and then beats up Dominic Mysterio. I love the finish to that match. The match was what it was. I don't think it had a lot of momentum. I don't think the match itself had momentum. The storyline crescendoed a little bit late, but they got there and they put the title on Rhea. But the end was so definitive, right? You hit Liv Morgan twice with Riptide, you win the title, and then you plant Dom with the same move. I mean, that's how top babyfaces end stories, the good guys win in the end, and they win definitively, and they win cleanly. And boom, Rhea got that. She got a really nice reaction. So now, it's her women's division as you roll into WrestleMania. And, return of Becky Lynch is on the horizon. I don't know if doing that match again at WrestleMania is worth it. It really didn't work last year when they tried it. It was fine, but it wasn't great. And but either way, whether it's Becky in that match or somebody else, Rhea Ripley is on top of the women's division, and that you needed to get there. You needed to get there, and it's not because Liv Morgan was a bad champion. I think she was a good heel champion for most of 2024, and she held her own. But it's got to go on Rhea. Rhea's the top dog, and so it's good to see her in that. Good to see her in that spot. Undertaker giving her the rub, as Sean says in the live chat here, was really cool. Oh, not that one. Was really cool. I think, just like Undertaker doesn't do that for everybody. Like he doesn't do that for everybody, and was cool to see him give that to Rhea Ripley. Undertaker's a polarizing guy now, especially. So that move is going to mean different things to different people. But, if you put everything with Taker aside, that's a big moment for Rhea Ripley. All right. And then we had a couple Legends appearances. John Cena out there. I like where John Cena ended the promo, right? He's going to go to the Royal Rumble. He's going to win it. He's going to try to make history and win the championship at WrestleMania for the 17th time, first ever. I wish there wasn't like the hemming and hawing and I forgot about the Royal Rumble. Like, I'll get, just why can't you just go out there and cut a promo on, hey, I'm back and I'm back to make an impact and I'm back to win the world title, and the Royal Rumble is my avenue to do that. I know when it is, right? You're not playing games. You're just straightforward. I don't get the reason to kind of hem and haw, about this. Just do it. Act like an adult with goals and go after it. So the hemming and hawing was just yuck. But I'm higher on this kind of chase based on the crowd reaction last night. It was very strong for John Cena, and the like him running down that 17th world title. I think it could be pretty. It could be pretty good. Sean does not agree. Sean says here the Cena promo was awful. Stop with the over the top stuff. I'm just not excited about him this year. He's got to do some work like on his storytelling. He cannot be the guy who is out there just again yucking it up and just having fun. Like, I think people want to see a meaningful run out of him in 2025 for the last one. They don't want to see just greatest hits John Cena. And so they've started to tell a story here. And I think that after that promo last night, I think Cena versus Cody is I think Cena versus Cody is likely at this point in time. And you have that match being the like that's your big WrestleMania match or one of the two big ones. And, Cena goes for that 17th world title. Does Cody drop it to him there? We'll see. I don't know. But I think that's the trajectory. Sean says here, he can't win the Royal Rumble. I mean, he could. He could. But he could also win Elimination Chamber. So, I mean, at this point, I think a Royal Rumble win for him because he just called it so definitively. That I'm not sure that works. Or that's a little too predictable, let's say. But he may just win the Elimination Chamber anyway. And then also Hulk Hogan last night. I mean, what a epic disaster and such a miss on the part of WWE. WWE does not need Hulk Hogan anymore. Hulk Hogan needs WWE. It's wild to see WWE bring back this guy continuously. He has not been valuable to them for years. And yet they keep bringing him back. And you could argue bringing him back when he was getting like good reactions. But look, last night, booed out of the building. hopefully that changes the perception of like where Hulk Hogan is in terms of relevancy in the WWE fan base. He's not relevant. And he was there last night just to sell some beer. Like, what? It's pathetic. It's pathetic. And he doesn't have any value to WWE anymore on television. I don't even know how much value he has to them off television, but he doesn't have it on television. And whatever small piddly value he does have, it's not worth the baggage that he brings. And he just doesn't. He doesn't in 2025. So fun show last night. Fun episode of Raw. And we'll see how they like move on with this show. You know, you're not going to have the crazy production every single week. It's going to get back to, regular old, Raw, really. But that's okay. You want to have that water level, and then you go up for big shows, and that's that. But we'll see what they do. But it was a good night at the office for WWE, a great night at the office for WWE overall. All right, let's quickly preview NXT New Year's Evil. It's tonight. The Rock is going to make a special appearance. We don't know what he's going to do, but he's going to be there. Trick Williams versus Obafemi versus. Oh, excuse me. Let me start that again. Trick Williams versus Obafemi versus Eddie Thorpe in a triple threat for the NXT Championship. We got Roxanne Perez versus Julia for the NXT Women's Championship. Lexis King is going to challenge Charlie Dempsey for the Heritage Cup. Sudden death rules in that one. Stephanie Vaquer is going to face Jakora Jade, Kalani Jordan, and Lola Vice. It's a fatal four-way. The winner gets a shot at the NXT Women's North American Championship that's held by Fallon Henley. And speaking of Fallon Henley, her Fatal Influence team is going to take on Shotzi, Gigi Dolan, and Tatum Paxley. So there you go. Julia versus Roxanne Perez is the match to watch here. I mean, I think it's going to be the best match of the night. Both of these women are tremendous in the ring, and you could be getting a title change here, I think. If at some point Roxanne Perez is going to go up to that main roster, maybe she's a Rhea Ripley opponent. I don't know. But, now seems like a good a time as any to do the Julia title run. Because you're not going to want her in NXT for too long either. So you got to get that championship honor at some point. I think they do it tonight. We'll talk about all that tomorrow on the show. We'll preview AEW Dynamite tomorrow, and we will also review NXT New Year's Evil as well as also all the news of the day. So thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate it. Once again, follow me at Zack_Heydorn on Twitter, at Zack Heydorn on Blue Sky. If you haven't subscribed to One True Sports on YouTube, please do. And of course, check out the Brass Ring Media YouTube channel and our Substack newsletter. You want all of that, and you don't want to miss any of that content. So check that out. Appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday, and we'll catch you tomorrow, same time, same place, right here at 1TS Daily. I'm Zack Heydorn from Brass Ring Media and Sports Illustrated. We'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.